Hello students, last presentation we had solved the problem on polytropic process and adiabatic process. Today we will start new unit steam and steam boiler. In this chapter we discuss on steam boiler definition and classification of the boiler. Definition of steam boiler. A closed vessel in which steam is produced from water by combustion of fuel. Introduction of steam boiler. A steam generator or boiler is usually a closed vessel made up of steel. Its function is to transfer the heat produced by the combustion of fuel to water and ultimately to generate steam. Classification of boiler: horizontal, vertical, and inclined boiler, fire tube boiler, and water tube boiler, externally fire and internally fire boiler, forced circulation and natural circulation boiler, high pressure and low pressure boiler, stationary and portable boiler, single tube and multi tube boiler. Let us see one by one. Horizontal, vertical, and inclined boiler. In horizontal boiler, the boiler drum or shell is in horizontal position. In vertical boiler, the boiler drum or shell is in vertical position. And inclined boiler, the boiler drum is in inclined position. Fire tube boiler and water tube boiler. In fire tube boiler, hot gases passes through tubes which are surrounded with water, and water tube boiler, the water circulates through the large number of small diameter tubes and hot gases around them. Externally fire boiler and internally fire boiler. Externally fire boiler furnace is located outside the boiler shell. The boiler is known as externally fire boiler. Internally fire boiler, the furnace is located within the boiler shell. The boiler is known as the internally fire boiler. Forced circulation boiler and natural circulation boiler. In forced circulation boiler, the circulation of water is achieved by means of motor-driven centrifugal pump. Forced circulation is generally provided for high-pressure boiler. In natural circulation boiler, the circulation of water is by natural convection currents which are set up due to temperature difference. High pressure boiler and low pressure boiler. The boiler which produce steam at pressure of 80 bar and above are called as high pressure boiler. And low pressure boiler, the boiler which produces steam at pressure below 80 bar are called as low pressure boiler. Stationary boiler and portable or mobile boiler. In stationary boiler, most of the boiler used for power generation and industrial use are stationary type. Portable or mobile boiler, the boiler used to run a locomotive and ships are mobile boiler as they continuously move from place to place. single tube boiler and multi-tube boiler. The fire tube boiler are classified as single tube or multi-tube boiler, depending upon whether the fire tube is one or more than one. Difference between water tube boiler and fire tube boiler. In water tube boiler, water is circulated in the tube and hot gases are passed over the tube. In fire tube boiler, hot gases is circulated through the tube and water flows over the tube. In water tube boiler, steam formation rate is high. In fire tube boiler, steam formation rate is low. In water tube boiler, it can generate steam at higher pressure. In fire tube boiler, it can generate steam at lower pressure. In water tube boiler, it can produce steam up to 550 degrees Celsius. In fire tube boiler, it can produce a steam up to 300 degrees Celsius. In water tube boilers are generally externally fire type. In fire tube boiler are generally internally fire type. In water tube boiler are suitable for large power plants. Fire tube boilers are not suitable for large plants. In water tube boilers, due to the high pressure, more chances of explosion. In fire tube boiler, due to low pressure, less chances of explosion. In water tube boiler, smaller shell diameter. In fire tube boiler, large shell diameter as compared to water tube boiler for the same steam generation. In water tube boiler, various parts are accessible for inspection while boiler is working. In fire tube boiler, various parts are not accessible for cleaning and inspection when the boiler is working. In water tube boiler, it requires more attention. In fire tube boiler, it requires less attention. In water tube boiler, it occupies less floor area as rate of heat transfer is high. In fire tube boiler, it occupies more floor area as rate of heat transfer is less as compared to water tube boiler if shell or drum is in horizontal position. Thank you.